NoCritsGiven. Welcome to episode 4 of Deadfire, A New Dawn. I am Ben. I am your DM. This is getting very monotone. So let's meet the players again before we break it. So starting on my left, we've got Lloyd Curtis. No one applauds, people.
I was taking the keys.
Jamie Docherty.
Hey, I got a tune.
What's your name? Josh Haynes.
Not like we work together.
I've known you for years as well. Come on.
Josh and his character are one and the same now.
Not strictly today, but birthday boy Luke Jackson.
It's going to be really sad if I kill his character this week, isn't it?
And my co-host for the podcast himself, Mr. Joe Smith. Full disclaimer, if Joe does collapse during this episode, it's fine. We've all checked, he's alright. Been a little bit under the weather this week, but he's dragged himself out of bed to come play D&D with us. So we are eternally grateful. Right, what happened in the last episode? In the last episode, we dealt with the aftermath of a battle that the crew of the New Dawn had against, no one checked, an unnamed ship with an unnamed captain doing unnamed things.
Which we now own.
You now own, yeah. I named it. What did you call it? Did you name it or did you just name a captain?
I think we just went with the captain, if I remember.
We watch our own stuff back.
We have no formal identifier for the ship.
We have no idea what's going on the
was
seas
just a
of the Pirate Isle.
I'm
It's like, wait, is
poorly,
that
don't
us?
ask me.
I don't know.
It's the dead liar.
During the aftermath, in an act that can only be described as somebody that wanted to get caught, we all discovered the truth about Matryn killing Luther. Cauld was very, what's the word? Undecisive about it, refused to believe the truth that Luther had
Did he
died.
find out it was actually Matryn that killed him, although he died?
No, I think the last we'd said was Chiron and Zho-Zho had said that he needs to tell Cauld himself and look after Cauld as well.
Yes, I can remember that you were there to sort of be the emotional support for Cauld and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
when you say look after, Cauld pretty much can look after himself in battle. So I'm assuming from a wellness and well-being point of view, you are there to provide support for Cauld. This is getting very middle management.
Emotional support.
We then
Barbarian.
you got a plaque on your door. My door's always open.
Support barbarian. It's got like a sash. And he can go in shops if he wears that sash. Otherwise, he has to stay outside.
You go into his office, he's got a load of like stress toys that were all ripped apart.
There's some weird beads all around his office for all the broken balls.
Oh. Yeah, well done, so that's that. We also came out of the battle with a quite interesting chest. A chest that was giving off some sort of signal suggesting to the crew that this was the artefact or had something to do with the artefact they were after. After they all put their hand in it, cast some spells on it, slammed it shut, ripped it open, nothing happened. And we decided we were going to head back to Rockcliffe Bay in search of somebody that may help us. Does that sound all good? Have we missed anything? Are we on board? We all caught up? But as the New Dawn slowly approaches the familiar port of Rockcliffe Bay, the capital of the Rockcliffe Isles. Rockcliffe is a relatively large island to the north of the Pirates Isles. It is predominantly covered in a thick tropical rainforest, home to all manner of wildlife, both magical and terrestrial. In various spots on the isle, settlements have popped up, either home to a specific crew, or just serving as homes to people who may want to enjoy the freedom of living away from the main city. As the New Dawn approaches the town, you see the familiar view of the wide, almost pure white sandy beach that stretches as far to either side of the port as you can see. There's a good 40 plus campsites that have been set up by various different crews, some of which you know, some of which you don't know. The beach is a good mile deep from the shoreline going backwards. As you get closer, you start to see the back half of the beach, which has become home to the district known as the Wrecks. The Wrecks is exactly what it sounds like, and it is hundreds upon thousands of shipwrecks. However, the majority of these ones have been turned into homes, shops, taverns, blacksmiths, bars, you name it. There's probably one here, as people from around the area flock to Rockcliffe to try and make some money in a free city. The only free city for quite a way around as well. As you near the port, the shallows of the beach means you need to drop anchor and head to town by a small jetty boat. 5 by 5, you disembark the New Dawn, leaving 2 or 3 men to keep watch over the ship. You make your way to the harbour, tying up your boats as you head off to the side of the dock. Past various crews and campsites, you reach your very own campsite. This is the place where you call home when you're in port. It's a bit of beach that's got some tents, got some beds, got a campfire, got the 1500 pirate equivalent of a beer cooler, and just place for you to hang out. I'm assuming you're more than welcome to go back and sleep and chill on the New Dawn, but it's not nearby. You've had to come over by sea. You all arrive in the campsite. You set your things down in your tents. I imagine Typhus, you've still got the chest.
At the moment,
So he's
yes.
keeping it with you. You come back out. You stand around the campfire. All the crew's with you as well. What would you like to do?
All stood outside the tent. Zho-Zho's going to address everyone and simply say, if anyone has any business while we're here in Rockcliffe, then now's our time to get it done. Feel free to go and do whatever you want to do.
Okay. Anybody else need to say anything now?
Obviously, I'm the quartermaster and I take the job really seriously. So,
I'll do you.
so whilst we're on the beach, and obviously, I'm guessing it's been quite a while since we've actually been back at this
I think
camp.
you've probably been at sea for a good 3 to 4 months.
So like, I'm gonna just order some other crew to make sure like the area's tidied up, make sure like where Zho-Zho's going to be staying is like immaculate, spotless. Because obviously over time you would get that kind of build up of muck and sand and dust and everything. So to make sure that obviously my captain is in the most comfortable position by ordering the crew to make sure it's all cleaned up, making sure that all the lieutenants and everything, their quarters are relatively cleaner, but making sure Zho-Zho's is kept to that high level that's expected.
Yeah, alright, that's
And
good.
Typhus will just say, what time do you want us back here today, Captain?
What time's dinner?
Yes.
Cauld!
When the
It's
street
ready
lights come
when
on.
it's ready.
That's the stupid question to ask.
As soon as the lamp lights come on, that's when you come back.
Because I'm right in thinking our overall goal of coming here was to talk to
Carver
LaRue in regards to the box.
Yeah, he lives away out of town, north of the actual city. A little bit, probably half a day's walk or so. If I remember when we were chatting about it last time, you were going to go later on in the afternoon. If we say it's roughly late morning when you've arrived back.
So I think Zho-Zho's just going to say that we've got the entire day. If it's half a day to travel to when we might as well spend the day getting stuff done what we need to do. Reconvene, rest, eat, make a half day's travel the next day.
Sounds good. Everyone else?
Cool.
It gives us plenty of time. No one's in a rush.
No, Bruce, take your time, have a nice day. And then have a nice day. So you're all going to go, have a nice day. You start heading towards the market for supplies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you want to do? That's where you want to go?
Personal supplies.
As you're walking, you sort of looking around and what you can see, and you think to yourself that most of the taverns and sort of the, I don't know what the pirate term is, the hotels and hostels and that, are going to have some sort of food you can go and buy. What are you saying?
I said hotels and then laughed because I like the idea of
Of
it.
a pirate hotel?
Yeah, the pirate Ritz.
So you think
It's
the
on
majority,
fire.
the majority of them places are going to have food, they're going to have things you can buy. Can you do me an insight check, please? Just to see if I can realise something.
Sure.
Thought they were against cult religion.
Oh shit, yeah they are.
They're not against our religion.
No, you just don't want to do that.
That is a 6 for a 5.
I just remembered the whole cold thing about insight. You could possibly do...
I'll do them, but I wouldn't.
No, I want it to make it make sense because I think I picked the wrong one with insight. Perception? Do a perception. Can you do me a perception check, please?
It'd be exactly the same roll.
This is the first roll of the night.
Yeah.
Oh.
12 for an 11.
You can have an 11. As you're walking through this town, which you use the word town loosely, you realise again, like there's loads of taverns, there's loads of sort of hostels or hotels, there's loads of places you can go to eat where you might be able to get food. But a lot of these places, the menus and what they have on offer are sort of the same. It's the same sort of generic meats with the generic breads and the sort of thing. And as you're walking, you remember a meeting you had the last time you were in town. It was about 3 or 4 months ago. You were on a night with the lads down in one of the bars, and you got talking to a young lady. Nothing untoward, but you remember on the night she seemed quite interested in cooking, and she seemed quite interested in sort of botany and herbs and plants and fruits and veggies and other sort of plant-based foods. So what I'll say to you is you can go to a store which will sell generic stuff, or you can go and see if you can remember where she was.
I might just go to the store. No, I'll go to...
Screw your whole scene you've written, Ben.
I will go... Hey, so you know the sea?
Yeah.
Just walk into it.
Just
keep walking. I'm going to go to
okay, so we're going to move to Matryn.
I'm going to the specialised shop.
Yeah, so you remember as you were talking
Slash
to
bar.
her, she sort of mentioned a few times that she mentioned a certain area of the beach, someone that you're not quite familiar with, one right off to the edge sort of way. You decide to sort of head off in that direction. It takes you a good 15-20 minutes of dodging people on the busy streets, nipping down little alleyways that you know of.
Hi there, hello. Hi.
No, people just keep looking at you, just sort of.
Hello. Hi.
Who's the guy saying hello to her?
Hello.
It's
a nice top.
They're not annoyed. They're just going to get a bit odd in a
Maybe
town
I should
full
have-
of cutthroat pirates that somebody's being friendly.
Maybe I should have a bandana.
You go on this walk and you find that, and after about a while, you get to sort of not the edge of town, but there's a bit like the only way I can compare it to is like Central Park, where there's a little bit of grassland, a little bit of open space before the city starts again. And off to the edge of it, you find what is you can only describe literally as 4-5 pieces of wood that are linked together to form a shack.
Sure.
And as you walk past it, you sort of towards it, sorry, you see to the left of it there are rows upon rows of crops, which is something we don't often see on a beach on a pirate island. There is a single cow sort of the back of this sort of field, tied loosely to a pole that could easily walk off. There is about 1.5 miles of rope attached to this cow to this pole. And as you approach sort of this building, the girl you've met all them months ago walks around from the side. She's got she's about the same sort of height as you. She's got a dress on which was clearly once a different colour than it is now. It's dyed and soiled and stained from working on the fields and stuff. And she looks up and she's really red in the face. She's clearly been working that morning, and she does has like a little wry smile to herself and says, "I'm not going to put on a woman's voice."
Why would she say that?
Weird thing for someone to say.
She said, "I wondered if we'd be seeing you at some point here."
Hi there, hello.
Hi, good morning. Morning, or we start to forget what time it is. I've not seen you in a while. You been about?
Just been on, casual cruise
On a
with
cruise?
some friends.
Lovely.
Ran to some odd jobs, but sort of leisure, innit?
Yeah. Yours is that one, and she points out to sea, clearly points at the new door.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
On a cruise, you say? You were on a
Well, I had a good time.
Well, that's all we can ask for in life, really, isn't
I had
it?
a good time, I mean, I did cook a bit. Said a lot. Cooked a lot.
Well, last time we spoke, you talked about cooking non-stop all night,
Yeah,
so I assumed.
In fact, this will be my organic segue into this.
Yes.
Do you have a fishing rod?
Give me an investigation check.
It's nice as shit today. That is a 9.
She sort of giggles, thinking you're joking with her, just sort of like oh yeah, funny. No, this is a farm. And she motions to a sign that is the smallest shop sign you have seen in your life ever. It is just a piece of driftwood that she's found with clearly scratched in by hand the words Philomena Farm. Barely even carved. It's scratched. It's not carved. And she goes, "No, unfortunately, we don't have fishing rods. We're more pretty much just your fruit and veg sort of."
Well, isn't my face red? Oh. What's your cow's name?
Okay. That cow?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not my cow.
Okay, this. Got any food I can buy?
What, at this farm?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to come in and we'll see if we can find something?
Sure.
When she turns around and this small 1 second. Hang on. No, sorry, I didn't want to. I wondered if I gave her a specific race. She literally turns around, walks past you, sort of to motion to follow her, and just takes one of the walls off of the building, stands it next to a tree, and it's not a house at all. It is a counter where she sells almost like a market hut.
Oh, okay.
And she goes,
I love it.
"What you after?"
You know. Don't say fishing rod.
Stuff.
Don't say fishing rod. You know, fruits, veg.
When you definitely come to the
Yeah. I don't suppose you've got any, chef's tools.
We don't have chef's tools here, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I assumed that somebody that had been cooking on the ship for 3 months probably had some that they were using.
The less chef's tools, more sabres and plus a big sword.
Okay.
Is this where it turns out that the whole time he's been cooking, weapon stores have been going missing off the ship? Like, he's using a rapier as a skewer. He's using a rapier as a skewer for like kebab meat and stuff.
Right. Definitely has been doing it. Yeah.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
I've presented it to the dudes. The dude who owns it. It's like, oh, cool.
She goes, "I've not got any fishing rods. I've not got any chef's tools. I have got fruit and veg."
I will have a box or two of the most exotic ones, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So she turns
Need
around.
street friends. You know it is.
Starts chucking some random sort of fruits in here. Things you've never seen. There's things you do see, and there's the basic like fruit and veg in there, but there's some more, like you say, exotic stuff in there.
Like apples.
Like apples.
Yeah,
like
exotic.
apples. And there's a single pear. Just a single pear that she manages to find.
Single pair.
Just puts it.
I know.
And that's
Doesn't sit right, does it?
doesn't. I don't like
lost
it.
for the rest of the
I don't like it. This is his one picture of 2 cows.
This is the same. She puts it all together. She gets you a couple of boxes together, and she goes, "So, is this? I'm guessing this is for your crew."
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, I might say friends.
this is for your colleagues,
Yeah.
associates, brothers in arms.
Just say friends.
She then spends 4 minutes going through every word she can think of, apart from the word friends. She thinks she's a proper joker, this girl. She's.
He's not getting it at all.
Obviously.
He's not getting frustrated, just like...
Not even confused, just.
Are you okay?
She says,
My friend.
"I can give you enough fruit and veg to cover your next journey, your next expedition, for 1 gold per person per day."
Okay. So that's at least 5 plus crew.
How many's in your crew?
I was about to say, are we counting unnamed pirates 1 through?
16, I think.
Well, remember, some went on the other ship, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think
we're on
16.
16.
'cause we're half.
I was thinking, I was working on the idea of 25 of you in total for 3 months. That's 75,000.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. So she wraps it up,
Oh, no.
gets it in a
Just
package,
get it ready for later.
bangs us back, gets like the same thing she's obviously scratched into the door, scratches the name of your ship on the front.
So, can you deliver it to the ship?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's part service. And she turns around and goes, "We got a delivery!" Like, and then the smallest, most decrepit old man comes from the back with a wagon,
Oh, hi there, hello.
limping along. And he goes, "Where to?"
That big one over there.
And he looks out to where you both pointed at the ship earlier, which is the furthest from shore ship. He's like, yeah, no problem, and then immediately starts struggling to get
Did
these.
you need help?
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and he's just like fruit veg rolling around each side.
No further questions.
She goes, yeah, that'll be delivered. Was there anything else?
I suppose you point me in the direction of, like, what's the best, fanciest food establishment in the area?
I can't say that anybody has ever asked for fancy food in
It
Rockcliffe.
doesn't have to be fancy, the fanciest.
The closest to fancy.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a tavern called the Dwarfish Lion?
Yes?
You definitely are.
Yes.
Yes. You want to go in there? You want to go in there?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Of course I do. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Go and see Von Rig.
Okay, bye!
She's literally had your gold in her hand as you turn and leave, saying bye, and was like, okay.
See you soon.
Carries on. So you head back through the way you came, not quite as far as the 20 minutes back down to shore, but you get about a good 10 minutes in, and you see a full, I don't remember all the names of every different type of ship, I can't, a decent sized full pirate ship.
Galleon?
Galleon?
Man of War.
Man of War?
That's a jellyfish.
Also a ship.
It's a big boat. Ship. Big ship. Shipwrecked, grounded, with
What did it do?
more people than you have ever seen coming in and out of a place before. There is music playing, there is people drinking, there's a person at the side of this place throwing up. You can see what used to be a porthole on the side has been sort of smashed out, and there is now a doorway in there. And across the front of it, there is a big, somehow fluorescent neon sign. You are assuming there's some form of magic that says the Dwarfish Lion, flashing with the eye, not quite in the same amount of time.
Lion or lion?
Lion as in big cat. The Dwarfish Lion.
I will psych up my bodunk self to go into the busiest place I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. You walk in, you're fine. You walk in, you go into the main building and the main room, and again, this place is packed. There is people queuing for the bar, there is people queuing for the toilet, there is people sat waiting for food, there are people stood waiting for the people sat waiting to finish so they can have their tables.
I'm going to immediately join a queue.
There is, you see at the bar at the side, you know that weird bit where no one really queues, but it's not that you can't queue there, it's just that nobody does.
Yeah.
There's just one guy clearly swaying backwards and forwards, and another guy that's trying not to look at him while this guy tells him a story. He's like, yeah, so I swear, man, we woke up the next morning and he was gone. He was gone, and then the next day the same, and he keeps going, and this guy's like, oh, I just want to get.
I feel like that's how we are with Josh.
He's like, I just want to get some food, man. We shouldn't have come here. I said we shouldn't have come here. And this guy's hanging off him. Clearly, has been there since first thing this morning.
It's like 10 o'clock.
It's like, oh yeah, he's been there. This is it was quite possible that they didn't shoot last night, and he's just been there drinking his life away. Over in the corner, you can see a human woman who's playing a fiddle. You know, the classic pirate instrument, playing a fiddle, got a bit of a shanty going on, and there is a good 15, 20 people stood around her, all in awe of this woman, and giving her far, far more credit and adulation than her talent. Even Cauld can realise she's not that great. But there's about 15, 20 people around her who are going crazy for this music.
I'm gonna go out for a dance.
You go for a dance?
Get distracted, go for a dance.
You see her, you start making your way over slowly. You've got a bit of a tap in your step. You think, I can take this. Give me a charisma saving throw, please. It's not going to be massive, don't worry.
I was waiting for a performance check or something.
These are mind bullets.
That's telekinesis, Kyle.
Natural 20 for 26.
A natural 20. Fuck, start rolling natural 20s, man. You don't want me to use you as the highlight. Stop being the highlight.
Okay.
So you get a bit of a sway on, you're liking the music, and as you get closer, you realise that not necessarily all at the same time, but everybody that's in front of her and dancing and that is doing the same sort of step.
Oh shit.
But they're all a bit out of time, they're all a bit out of whack, and you notice, you sort of pull yourself out a bit.
Do I notice?
Yeah, because you made your save, man.
Yeah, but do I notice what's happened?
No, but you don't. It doesn't happen to you.
Fair enough.
But you remember why you came in, and you think, no, I'm here for a reason. I'm not going to get caught. And you turn and find yourself. Some guy goes, "Oh, for God's sake!" It's as you get to the front of the queue and at the bar. You look up and you can see what only can be described as the most beautiful woman in the world. She is dwarven. She is tall, what you would say tall for a dwarf. Slimmer than most dwarves. She's got the figure to match it and glistening blonde hair that almost shines in this dingy, dark tavern. As she looks up, she gives you the widest smile and go, "You here for Vonrig?"
Yes.
Yeah, you've been here before.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the kitchen, and she sort of nods her head towards like a serving hatch behind her, where her husband Vonrig is in there running around like a madman. You going into the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
So you go around to the side of the bar. You let yourself into the kitchen.
So how attractive is he though? That's not one though.
You know what? He's holding his own. He's definitely punching.
Yeah.
But he's punching in the same way that Gerard Piqué was going out with Shakira. Anyone else know them references? You've got no idea who Piqué is.
She was in Zootopia.
She was married to Gerard Piqué.
There you go.
Just expect
Thanks, Josh. No one else picked up on my reference there. And he looks up and with a sigh of relief goes, "Oh, thank God, Cauld. If you want to learn some more, you're going to have to help me out feed this lot."
Do you have a fishing rod?
Yes.
Done.
So as you look back out, you can see that throng of people all waiting to be fed. Can you now do me a performance check, please?
Perform monkey. Please be a 20. Please.
I don't think you. No. I don't think you've rolled less than a 20 on a cookery check yet. I think you've had 2 days.
Nah, 8.
8. So you're pretty comfortable in the kitchen. You have been to Dwarf Climb before. You have worked the odd shift here and there. This is where you developed your skills when you got to Rockcliffe.
Fucker jinx me.
No.
I didn't jinx you. I was just reminding you of the history that we've got together at the table. But the menu he's got on offer today is a couple of things you've never seen, a couple of things you've not done. You're a little bit slow.
Sandwich.
You spend a good 2 minutes staring at 2 slices of bread. No,
Sideways. Get this. Meat's on the outside.
bread, and then 2 bits of random meat inside.
No, it's trying to figure out which angle to cut the sandwich. Whether you trot corner to corner, halfway along.
At one point, Vonrig looks over to you with a knife and 2 bits of bread, and then 2 loaves of bread that you've cut at the wrong angle next to you. Always out a little bit that isn't quite right.
That's actually triggered me.
I was definitely counting on you getting that wrong. You managed to scrape your way through this service. It's not, the food tastes alright, but it's pretty much because he's leading the cooking. You're there assisting him, KPing him almost. You manage to get to the end of the shift and he turns around, sweat dripping from his brow, and he goes, "What the fuck was that, Cauld?"
Well, I feel good about myself. How about you?
On what reason? How do you feel good about yourself?
Did we not have a good time together creating food for your wonderful people?
He motions to the pile of bread and the burning stove that's covered in crap and goes, "Yeah, I've had a lovely time, Cauld. It's not going to be as great cleaning up all this crap."
Oh, I'll clean up. I don't mind.
You think?
Yeah.
If you want,
I'm offering to clean up.
you're going to be cleaning up, Cauld.
Yeah, I've offered to, so I'm going to do it.
he sort of sighs. He likes Cauld. He's worked with Cauld before, but he forgets what Cauld is like sometimes, and he just sort of sighs to himself and goes, "I'm guessing you didn't just come here for a fishing rod."
No. You know this knife?
Yes, I know that knife. It has my initials inlaid in the side of it.
Cool. Do you have one that may have my initials in it?
Roll me a luck check
Oh my god.
to see how lucky you are that he actually has one that's got CS on the side.
Yeah.
I double check right.
Ooh, there's a 19. Do I have anything to it?
No, it's luck checks are straight. He goes, "Oh, I don't know, I'll have a look." Opens like a cupboard where his knives are and goes, "What's your surname?"
Sunfire.
Yeah. He literally looks down and there is a CS.
It's like from a brand called like Cooking Stash or something.
You'd carved it before in the hopes that this would happen.
This is the official cooking sword that has been all pirates use. It is literally just a brand name, but it has CS written on the side of this.
Do you have the set?
Do I have a set,
Do you have the set?
of knives?
It would have been quite funny if it just had a C on and he just quickly carved an S. Like, yeah.
I very nearly said it's KS, but good roll.
Only because, trying to be better, trying to help my friends out, and it's just, there's only so much you can do with a giant sword.
What you need to get is a cooking sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a knife?
No.
Chef's knife.
This is a knife. This is a cooking sword.
You call that?
He holds up two identical knives, but one of them has CS written on the side, and he goes, "This is a cooking sword." How much? He looks around at his ruined kitchen and goes, "Cauld, if you never come back into this kitchen again, you can take these set of knives with you."
Just to clarify, to come back in the kitchen to work or to see you?
Cauld, I never want to see you in this kitchen again.
Oh,
You're, by all means, come and have a drink and have some food in the bar. But this, after today, is a cold-free zone.
okay.
Yeah. He takes the set of knives, which isn't a full set, it's one or two missing, but you've got some cooking swords as opposed to rapiers. Hands them over. Goes in the back, finds an old fishing rod that he said you could have for doing the shift. So hands over his fishing rod. And goes, "Was there anything else?"
How are you?
"I've had better days."
How's
Something sets a flame behind him. Just first, briefly.
So that was me, that was my nerves. Sorry. Just control flame goes off. Burning hands. Sorry. How's the wife?
Jim Barra? Yeah, she's good. She's living life.
Yeah, cool. I know her name.
Yeah, I'm glad one of us did. He motions out the serving hatch to where she is serving drinks left, right and centre, taking orders, service is finished, taking drinks left, right and centre, flying and down the bar and taking payment.
Does she need a hand? Do you want me to help her?
She's fine. She's alright.
It's not my specialty, but I'll give it a go.
Is this your specialty?
As much as anything. Look, I'm relatively new to this world. I've only been off the island for about, a year?
You've been off the island for 3 months.
No, not this island. My home island.
Your home island.
Yeah.
I have no idea where you're from.
Oh, I forget the name of it. It's got a big volcano though.
He goes, "Oh, that one." No, I'm joking. Literally the next island. No, he didn't.
The name escapes me.
You definitely did give it a name when you sent me your backstory.
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
No.
I'm sure there was a name on there.
Yeah, I probably should have done. I would have remembered.
We will worry about your backstory later.
Yeah, Pompeii.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No.
Pompeii.
Yeah, later. In fact, I will think of it.
I was going to put a musical interlude on. It's like many hours. He goes, "You know what? Jim Barra's fine. She's got it down on the bar. Thank you for your help today.
You're welcome.
It was an experience.
Mhm.
It's been emotional, you might say. If there's nothing else, I'm going to get... Oh, you're going to help me tidy up.
Yeah, I have it tied up. I'll tell you, while we're tied up, I'll tell you about how I killed a guy.
Yeah, I'm all ears. And you spend the next few hours cleaning this kitchen you have destroyed. Telling him the story about how you killed a guy. You didn't kill a guy. You did a lot of damage to
Not
the
this
guy.
time.
You may have done. Oh no, they're alright. Yeah, was there anything else Cauld wanted to do? That will give you your chef's tools
And the
and the
proficiency.
I'm not sure I can get you a proficiency on that performance. I wanted to.
Jinx me, motherfucker. Yeah, sure. Cauld is
Done.
Done.
You're going to help clean up, head back, and then afterwards you can do what you need. Matryn,
Matryn.
you alright?
I'm loving life.
Where do you want to head?
So, obviously, making sure that the guys are getting on with their job. Obviously, everything that's happened with Luther and obviously the last conversation that I had. Matryn's in one of them states where he's kind of getting worked up and everything like that, and he knows he needs to just go blow off some steam.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like he needs to just vent in a way, and the only way he really knows how to vent is by fighting and by hurting other people. So
That sounds healthy. Give me a perception check.
That sounds healthy.
I'm worried that I hurt people too much. Let's go hurt some people and solve that.
21.
On a 21, you take 3 whole steps out of the camp and instantly start hearing grunting, banging, things being chucked into other things, the sounds of people shitting, cheering. You can hear somebody shitting. We'll just wait for Joe to be alright. No, look, where do I cut it back in?
That's got to be an outtake.
Yeah, that'll be it. It doesn't always go to plan. Are you alright?
Yeah, fine.
You hear people cheering, shouting, clapping. There's a lot of things going on. You head towards the sound. You cut through a little alleyway where you know how to get to this place quicker. And as you come out, you see a circle about 50 foot in diameter of broken bits of ship and bits of hull and door and a bit of rigging. Inside that is another circle of about 400 people. And at the far end you can see a little raised platform with a giant, what used to be a mast of a ship, standing, and leaning against it is a man. And in the middle of the circle you see 2 guys kicking the shit out of each other. This is where you wanted to be. This is the whole... In your mind, this is the reason we came back to Rockcliffe Bay.
So we can dispense.
Kicking the shit out. That's where the shitting came from. If I was having it kicked out.
I was going to say, but...
You walk towards it, you're both excited to be back. This is a place you've been many, many times. And as you walk under a sign that says Gim's Fight Pit over the top of it, you walk through this sort of archway, making your way through this crowd as you're heading to the guy on the platform, who is a guy named Val.
Now, as I'm making my way to the stage, like, is there anyone that like knows who I am, knows me from this like fighting kind of arena kind of place? Like, is there anyone trying to get my attention?
You can see my rolls. Because I'm a fatty. So nobody's really noticing.
Stop.
You have got a bit of a reputation.
Yeah.
But I think because a lot of the time the crew of the New Dawn isn't at Rockcliffe, you use this base as a home base, but then you're not like here all the time. This is very much usually 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month max pit stop, and then you're off again. Not many people have seen you guys. There are specific people that know who you are, your friends, colleagues, and acquaintances. But in terms of the legend of Matryn in Gim's Fight Pits is a lot bigger than recognising the person himself. As you walk up, you find your way through this crowd of people. You see two like nondescript people out the corner of your eye. They're in the middle of the fight pit, kicking the shit out of each other. You head towards the platform where a man. Like I said, there's a big mast, and there's a man sort of leaning on the back of it. He's not really watching the fighting. He's not really watching anything. You can see he's quite uninterested in what's going on. He is head to toe, shaven head, shirtless, pitch black in skin, like supernatural black, and around his eyes, and that comes sort of like down below his nose, and the same sort of pattern on his chest is painted but gold. So he gives this picture of somebody that stands out no matter where he is. He, as you approach up to the platform, he's sort of uninterested. He's looking at his hand. He's not bothered. He just glances his head to the side, sees you, and goes, "No, no."
What do you mean, no?
No.
What?
No.
I didn't mean to throw that guy that far last time.
Do you know how much money you cost me last time you were here?
And how much did you make from the bets?
Yeah, but
do you always come out of these with good money?
It doesn't make it okay if I win 500 gold, but you cost me 700 gold in damages. Do you know?
We both know that when people know I'm here to fight, it brings in bigger crowds, more money.
Take a look
I am your Conor McGregor here.
He does not get that reference at all. This is a guy called Val, by the way, before. Valis Albrecht. He is the owner and proprietor of Gim's Fight Pit. He inherited it. He won it in, if we must know, he won it in a game of poker at the bar. Has no interest in this place whatsoever. Doesn't like running it, but it makes him a shitload of money. So he likes money in a place and in an economy where the people that have money have more. He likes this place. He goes, "I understand you bring in the crowds, but nobody's going to want to fight you. Last time, you just said yourself, you threw a guy through the wall."
I mean, he had it coming.
He's never fought since.
I mean, I did send him some flowers.
Did you really send him some flowers?
No, but I did go see his wife to make sure she was okay.
Did you really go see his wife?
I saw her in the bar, and we got talking. She said he was okay. I know he's not going to come back at me for that one.
Why do I feel like it's a talking?
Kind of how the entire facade stops in 0.01 of a second. Did you buy flat? No. There was no commitment to anything.
Fine, you caught me. Alright, Hercule Poirot.
Oh, what's that? Poirot.
He was Gim. Not Gim. You're not Gim.
I like the name of the place, by the way.
What's it called again?
Gim's Fight Place.
Love it.
Matryn. Nobody's going to fight you. And you've got to understand, even if I can find someone to fight you, how much money it's going to cost me if you do the same things you've done before, and time before that, and the time before.
How about this then? Okay. I am holding 300.
Yeah.
And I will make up any more if the damage is more than what you make out of this fight.
What fight? I've got no one to fight you.
There will be somebody here.
I've got no one.
Come on, there's going to be some drunken guy out there who wants this, who thinks he can take me.
Some poor man.
There's going to be some guy out there.
Okay,
I need this fight. Like I've had a rough time out on them seas for the last 3 months. I killed a guy. Okay.
You're not making me seem cool.
No.
Do you know how much I have to deal with if you kill a guy in my premises?
I'll do it.
Do you know what's even better? They know he's off a pirate crew. Isn't killing people part of the job?
I feel like everyone from the crew, whoever they bump into, is going to go, "Yeah, I killed a guy."
Right, as you're saying your speech, you notice another person has stood up and has approached from the other side. And as you stop, a voice goes, Val, Alpha. And as you turn to look, you see a human man standing 7'2" in size. He looks like he weighs 2 of you. He is built like fucking The Rock on The Rock had a baby with himself. He is that fucking ripped and tall. He's wearing sort of the traditional dirty boots, dirty like trousers. He has a plain sort of coloured, sort of dark blue, sort of almost like t-shirt, like just a top he wears on with like a sash with a couple of gun slots and that. But then on his head, he has the most pristinely kept, mint condition tricorn hat you have ever seen in your life.
Is it macaroni?
So like,
that's tricolour, not tricolour.
Obviously, I'm in the middle of this talk with Val. I'm like pleading my case, being like, Val, please. Obviously, this guy's come over, being like I can fight him, but I don't fully hear him because I'm just fully like I'm in that zone where I'm just full on concentrating on Val right now to get this fight because I want this fight. And then obviously this guy walks over, goes thingy. I turn around and just look at him, and go, shut up! I'm trying to talk to him first, and still talking to Val.
As you say that, he lets out a massive sigh and punches the mask behind Val, denting it, making everyone in the arena stop and look. And he goes, "Do you want to fight or not?"
So as he's done that, and then obviously I love this place. This place is like a third home to me. After the camp, after the shit. This is my third home.
Camp, then the shit. Just loves being in camp, this guy. Loves a camp builder.
He knows that if he breaks it, he will always try and help get it fixed, make the money to get it fixed. And he's just seen this guy put a dent in it. I turn around and obviously like I see how you just described and how he's dressed, and I just see this hat, knock his hat off and go, "Come on then, let's have it."
And then you kiss.
I'm just trying to think. If nobody's ever spoken to me in that way before.
Could reach it.
Yeah, that's what I was
How
thinking.
tall's Matryn?
Oh, 4'4".
6'1".
Yeah, you could probably reach. You've got about that foot reach, haven't you? Yeah, you could probably reach it. Okay. Val sort of looks up at his dented and goes, "Just calm it, JP. Calm it. You can fight."
Wait, is it Jake Paul?
That's his name.
John Paul.
Long John Paul.
Jason.
I'm not giving him a surname. He's just called JP. He goes, "Calm it, JP.
Serious.
He killed his name.
You can fight. Here's how it's going to work. To get you to fuck off and leave me alone, and to get you off my back because you've been asking to fight for 3 weeks as well." How much did you say you had? 300 gold?
Well, I have 360, but I didn't want to like tell him the full amount, just because I want to keep some back for some drinks and probably some healthcare.
He's going to go, "Look, you both put 100 gold in a pot. I'm going to take 20%. The winner takes a lot. No arguments. I'll decide who wins. And my word is final. If you can either both agree or you can both fuck off."
Let's make it 150, you little tosser.
Give me persuasion,
Do you have -1 charisma?
Dirty 20.
Maybe not.
JP goes, "Yeah, by all means." You, just to explain the process, we're not going to do full combat. We're going to do opposed strength checks. Best 3 out of 5 wins. The natural 20 on either part will mean an instant win.
What?
Okay.
Of the whole thing, or that
whole
round?
thing. It's not round. It's just
going to be a KO.
Yeah, a natural 20 means you've not you, and I'll let you if you beat him, I'll let you flavour it however you want.
Fatality.
So he sort of steps down to the side, picks his hat off, brushes it off, sets it down to one side, takes off the sash and his shirt, because we all know fantasy lore, you have to do bare knuckle fight shirtless. We've all played The Witcher 3. Have you not? Oh, you must know. You're obviously shirtless anyway. Yeah. You take off your cape thing that you wear, like as apparently you're Batman. I'm Matryn. You set that down on your side. You see at this point now, there's one or two people that you know in passing, and they're like, yeah, there's some bets taken on the winner, and you enter the. Literally, because you two want to fight, the other fight has to stop. You outrank them, so they move to one side, and you two start. So we will do.
Is this where Matryn gets taken out first roll?
100%.
When you knocked his hat off, were you trying to intimidate him or just be a dick?
Just to be like, because like I said, like this is his third home, and he's just seen this guy like just damaging this place. And
So was it an intimidation attempt?
Show some respect.
It's more.
It doesn't have to be.
It's not an intimidation. It's just more, like a show respect to this place. Like we are in the middle of a shipwreck fighting ring, but like there are rules here that we do not break. If you throw a man through a wall while middle of fighting, that's acceptable. But you start tearing this place up when there's no real reason, that's when there's problems occurring here.
Just covers his
So
own
we're
ass.
going to fucking fight, are you going to keep talking?
How about you take that hat, shove it, and then pull it back on your head?
Do me an intimidation check with disadvantage.
He doesn't need it.
I don't need it.
What's that?
Natural one.
Okay, if you'd have passed your intimidation check, you'd have rolled with advantage. And actually, on a natural one, I'm going to give advantage to the other guy. Because you've attempted to, only on his first roll, only on the first one, you have attempted to intimidate him and make him like a bellend, and he's going to...
Can I?
You can use your abilities if you
Can I use my rage ability?
on contested strength.
God of
Yeah.
War.
Yeah.
It gives him advantage.
Gives me advantage on strength checks and saving throws, +2 melee damage.
To strength checks, and yes, of course you can.
It's God of War. He's going to Spartan rage out.
Yeah.
So, best 3 out of 5 wins this bare knuckle fight. Where Matryn will mark his return to the island.
Yours isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Actual denied.
No, I like these ones because they're heavier.
Rolls 2 natural 1.
Right, first one then.
Strength checks, yeah. 12.
Natural 20.
Oh no!
Do you want to confirm?
That isn't all.
Oh no!
So you say, take that hat.
Hey?
Flawless victory.
You say, take that hat, shove it up your ass, put it back on your head, and he goes, we're going to fight or what? And you go, fucking come on then. You strip off, you get into the middle. How do you come out in your fighting stance? What's your go-to look for a...
It's just more like.
Starts doing capoeira. Like Eddie.
Eddie Gordo, yeah.
You've seen Tekken, right? haven't you, Joe?
I was thinking more like Sailor Moon.
How do you come out
Joe's
first?
game.
No, like the scene out of Mission Impossible, Henry Cavill, where it's like.
Oh yeah, so you come out...
He loads
Reloads his ammo.
So you come out, you're doing that, you shake it all off, get ready, and as you come to the middle, he goes... straight between the eyes, knocks you down for... we don't have bad damage, so we won't do those. Knocks you clean, like, you literally rocky...
There's no way that I can like turn this around because I am in rage. I'll just wait, yeah, because I'm in rage at the moment.
Did you roll with advantage?
Yeah.
I did roll with advantage.
You rolled a natural 20, dude.
Just in mid-air, he's like, can we change the rules?
No.
Yeah, he's a little
You
weak.
would have taken half damage.
He's going flying back.
like-
Did I say 150? I
With
meant...
resistance, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
There's no damage because it's not a combat, it's just...
No.
It's like Snatch. You fucking fall back.
No caravans for you.
You literally, the punch takes you off of your feet, you fall backwards in the air, landing flat on the floor, and as he stands over you, he goes, we done? You're done.
I'm never done.
He sort of stands over a second, Val stands up and goes, yeah, that's about all we need to see, and JP will walk off back towards, get his stuff. A couple of people sort of run out, help you back to your feet, get you a bit of rag for your nose that's now exploded everywhere, and take you back to where your stuff was.
Can I make a comment before?
You can, yeah, you could.
So like, obviously,
Double or nothing.
No, he's walked off.
Yeah, he's walking off of the chair.
And like, obviously everyone's around me, like trying to help me up and stuff. And as I'm getting back to my feet, I'm like, we will do this again. And next time, you will be out the wall like the last guy.
He looks at you. He shrugs, holds his hand out, takes his money from Val. You are down 100 gold, Josh.
150.
150. He takes, what did I say, 20%? So he's just won 240 gold. Because Val takes 20% of the pots. And on the bets, Val loses. A lot of people, no, Val wins, sorry, because a lot of people were backing yourself on your reputation alone. He wins a considerable amount of money. And so as you limp back over towards him, your face covered in blood, with blood already drying around your sort of, because you're drow, aren't you, sort of paley skin, holding your stuff, he goes, hey, I'm big enough to admit when I was wrong. You've made me some money tonight.
Character arc started.
Is this where we get a montage?
Do you know what crew this man is from?
I do, yeah, actually. Would you like to know?
I would like to know, please.
Yeah, JP arrived on the island, 3-4 weeks ago? You can't see his shit from here, but his captain, somebody called Captain Nowro.
Do they stay for a long time? Do they go back, or is this the first time?
Captain Nowro's crew is similar to yours, but again is as well known as you guys. He is he's not one of the pirate lords, but he's a very well known captain, very well known crew. So you've heard of his reputation before if you've not had the joy of being on the island at the same time.
If he's to return to the fighting pit, if I was to give you some gold right now, would you ensure that someone came and collected me so I could have the rematch that I deserve?
He's gonna sort of chuckle to himself and go, I've just made more money today than I have in the last 2 weeks. If you're gonna come along and I make that much money again, keep your money down. When JP wants another fight, we'll send for you.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I don't need your thanks, just take your gold.
Yeah, so with that, he, like, obviously Matryn doesn't normally leave this place as a loser, and he's kind of got his tail tucked between his legs, and it calmed him down, because actually being knocked on his ass for once and actually feeling the other side of this, he's gone, maybe I did do wrong by Luther. Maybe I do need to...
At least I got back up.
Is this post-nut clarity?
And then he kind of like goes and grabs a bottle of rum to kind of like
There
the pain a little bit.
There is a bar here, rudimentary bar set up, so you can stay in the fight bit for a bit.
Yeah, so I'll stay there, kind of go sit, like, kind of clean myself up.
Drown his sorrows.
Drown his sorrows. Think about all the gold he's lost, and then be thinking about this next fight and like, why did he do this like this and go on his arse so easily?
Is he going to be in the woods like lifting logs while the other guy's on treadmills with like scientists monitoring him?
I didn't drink him, but watching the fights that were still going on, but then proceeding to tell everyone the right way to fight. Well, I wouldn't have done that, and that's not what I would have done.
Like, loads of people go, yeah, we know what you're doing.
And then I'm just like, oh, I've beaten that guy before, and they're like, oh, you couldn't beat the guy tonight, though, could you? And then like Matryn's just starting to get up, and then people's like, no, Matryn, you've already been on your ass once tonight. Sit back down.
You've got, probably wouldn't call them friends, but like, acquaintances in here that are like
work proximity associates.
just like, yeah, you know what it has. Sometimes you lose some, sometimes you win some. But it has. It's not going to affect your anger management dice. But it has helped Matryn come to terms with the whole Luther situation a little bit more, and it has sort of done.
He's the one that murdered him.
He's been torn between the good and evil of it.
I mean,
there is no good in it. It was pure murder.
there's like, yeah, cool motive, still murder.
So this is how we felt.
So then also now, like, while I'm sat there, I'm going to be reflecting on like the fact that like I think in my head Cauld, like, this was Cauld's new best friend and like what I've done. So I'm going to start contemplating about actually breaking this news fully to him, because I know that he still doesn't think he's not here. He's because I saw him obviously going around the ship looking for him and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm still now thinking, I'm really going to have to do this in a really proper and sincere way, not just the normal Matryn way. And then that's the end for now.
We'll leave Matryn there contemplating that as we leave the Gims fight pit, and in a proper GTA style, camera zooms up and camera zooms down, and we see Chiron. Chiron, immediately as you are dismissed by the captain, you head into the depths of the wrecks, passing by loads of people going about their day in the city. There's a mother shouting at a child to come back as he darts off into the maze that is this part of town. As he runs off, he looks back with a little wry smile at his mother, who has long since given up on chasing him. A little further on, there's a woman just stood on the stool, arms and head fully underneath a cow as she's milking it. You see that there are 3 or 4 buckets, all brimming with milk behind her. Your magical sense is tingling, saying that this cow can't produce that much milk on its own. Something's going on there. A few more minutes walking and darting down an alleyway, as you know will get you there quicker. You turn a corner and see the familiar sight of the blacksmith you go to all the time, called Or Else. O-R-E-E-L-S.
I like it.
Or Else is an entire medium-sized shipwreck that is entirely taken up by the blacksmith. The door has been crudely added to the bow of the ship, creating a place for customers to enter. The mast is still intact on the roof of the building, and only a handful of the wrecks of the beach that still has their masts and their flags intact, meaning it's easily identifiable from a distance. As you enter, you are met with a wall of heat, as the whole room is filled with 3 giant smelting ovens. The middle of the room is 3 large anvils with a smorgasbord of tools hanging from like nooks and crannies on the wall and pegs and stuff. As you look around the room, you see the person you are looking for through the smoke and haze of the room. Standing behind one of the anvils and preparing to bring the hammer down is a rather intricate piece of armour is Rockcliffe. Rockcliffe is a short dwarf, even by dwarven standards, with a giant thick, what you think is a black mohawk, with the sides of his head just as black from the soot and smoke of working in this heat all day. On closer inspection, you can see that his hair is actually white and maybe even blonde, but years of working in this blacksmith have dyed it black from the soot. And he has a beard that matches. Again, not actually black, but has been dyed black throughout the years. As he looks up from his anvil at you, he sees you see his long black beard is tucked into his belt because he's just never felt the need to shave it or cut it, and he's got it kept it growing. And his eyes light up as he sees his old friend. Ah, Chiron, you old sea dog. What brings you back here?
Well, we're back on shore for a short while, so thought I'd come and get a bit of an upgrade.
Yes.
As I always do.
I assumed you guys were back when I heard the noise starting kicking off at the Gim's fight pit. I'm assuming that's one of your lot.
Probably Matryn, you know what he's like.
You do tend to bring a bit of hysterics with you when the new dawn comes back to town.
Well, you know, you got to keep things exciting.
Got to keep the reputation up. What are you after, sir? What can I help you with today?
Well, I was wondering, because we had a bit of a scuffle recently, and it could have got a bit dicey, so I was wondering, I need to beef up my defence a little. So I was thinking maybe some scale mail.
Scale mail? Sorry. I'm trying to pull out my phone and now my phone's dead. So we better hope that sound's working for me.
Hopefully.
Which I think it is. It looks like it's alright. Scale mail, he says. He sort of looks around and thinks, we've not had any scale mail in here for a while. I could probably ask him around and get my hands on some though. Take me a while.
That works for me.
Yeah.
If you could ask around, just quickly, how long are we in town for? Because obviously we will have been
You're
told.
planning on being in the town for today, and then you're going up to head north.
Okay.
I don't know how long you're planning on staying in the city, in the town.
Okay.
It can be something we come back to if you want.
Well, I'll just say maybe if he can sort some up by the morning, maybe.
Yeah, you can try.
Okay. Well, yes, I'll appreciate it if you could ask around for me. we're venturing north tomorrow, so maybe if I stop by in the morning, see if you've managed to wrangle anything.
He sort of gives it another thought and pause, but he says, I can try my best. I'm not sure who in town might have scale mail. It might take me a little longer than that, but if I can get it ready for tomorrow morning, for you, Chiron, it'll be ready for tomorrow morning.
And just quickly, how much are we talking?
He sort of stops and thinks. He goes, again, it's hard to say. Without the materials in, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be buying them for. He has a sort of stop and think. I don't really know. He sort of goes, I can't really tell you, I'm afraid. Just because I don't know who's going to have it, what it's going to take to find it, what it's going to take to bring in. What I can do is make it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a chat when it's made. And then if you decide otherwise, you pay me for my time, I'll sell it on to someone else.
Well, tell you what. In the spirit of old friends, I'll pay you 75 gold up front. As a gesture of good faith, because I know you're good for your word.
He will gratefully accept your offer of a deposit. Deposit's always welcome here, or else you are aware. Yeah, I will do what I can. Like I said, no promises for tomorrow morning, but if I can make it, I'll make it. Was there anything else, sir?
No, you've been a great help as it is, but we're a bit short on time for today, so I've got somewhere else I need to be, but I'll be back first thing in the morning.
I'll see you then. He shakes your hand like old friends and immediately starts shouting at people to get inventory lists up and list of contacts who we've got. Is that one down? Is that old blacksmith down on the seafront? Is that still operating? Somebody gets down there and he puts his forces to work to find him. Do you leave the route? You leave the
I'll head off. Yeah.
So where are you heading next?
I'm gonna head towards the Hunter's Lodge, just on the outskirts.
Okay.
Isn't it? It was just on the outskirts, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Sort of towards the way Rockcliffe is. There is this big city of shipwrecks. And at the back of the beach is a sheer 200-foot cliff face.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of that cliff face, bang centre of the city, is a massive ravine that stretches to the top, where the Pirate Council is situated, where the bazaar and the market is situated, where there's some more higher... Can you have highbrow establishments in a pirate city? But there are some more higher society places, even by these standards. So on top of that is where the rainforest starts.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hunter's Lodge is just sort of the last sort of line of the wrecks before we get to the cliff face. So you head in that direction?
Yeah.
After about 5 minutes of walking, it's starting to get a little darker in the afternoon now. Can you do me a perception check, please?
Yeah. What would perception be? Perception. That'll be 14.
14. As you are walking, you get a sort of sense that somebody is following you, or maybe tracking you, or maybe wants to sort of watch you. And as you look around on that 14, what you see is a figure coming out of an alleyway, which is he's making no attempts to be hidden. He is a little bit bigger than you, human male, a bit of a scraggly beard, longish sort of hair, tattered tricorn hat, long black sort of pirate sort of jacket on. And as you turn to him, you look at him, he looks at you with a smile, and a bang is put over the top of your head as you are carried away.
Brilliant.
You try to sort of sense where you are, which direction they are headed in, but there's lots of turns and cuts and backs. You think at one point you've gone back on yourself, as you're struggling to get free. Eventually, you are dropped into a chair and the bag ripped off of your head, and you are in a dimly lit room, which is just a small, bit like the room we're sat in now, bit like that sort of size, but it is more circular, with a solitary lamp on a table, which is dying a little bit. It's a very gloomy room. You're obviously in the depths of somewhere, and as you look up, your eyes adjusting to where you are. you see, hang on, as your eyes open and you clear your sight a little bit, the light makes it hard to see clearly, but as you raise your head, your heart sinks, as when was what you're dreading was in front of you, is in front of you. Opposite across the table, you see the Black Soul herself, Captain Athena, is sat across from you with a smile on her face. She says, Chiron, thank you for joining us. One small question. Where the fuck do you get off not coming straight to see me when you get back into port?
Well, funny thing is, you're saying welcome for joining you. I didn't exactly have a choice now, did I? But I just had a couple of things to attend to before I was going to turn my full attention to appraising you.
I would have thought for a man who owes a considerable amount of gold, making sure I am attended to, as you so eloquently put it, is your top priority.
Yes, well, like I said, that's why I wanted to get other business out of the way before I gave you my full attention.
I think you can excuse me for not being feeling like I am a priority when you seem to think other things need doing first, like spending my money.
Funny thing is, that money that I spent goes towards keeping me alive to pay back the money I owe.
Well, there's an easy way to fix that, isn't there? And the two guys behind you sort of draw a weapon and go, we could just kill you now. That would settle your debt. And we'd be over with this situation.
Well, you could settle it that way, but I somehow doubt my life's worth 8,000.
Oh, make no mistake, Chiron, your life is not worth 8,000 pieces of gold to me. We do have a third option. I'm not going to call it an option. Let's just call it a bit more of an incentive to pay. No one here's going to hurt you. My two associates behind you there are a little bit too eager with their blades and can't necessarily pick up on when I am merely adding flavour to a conversation. So you will be allowed to leave this place with your life on a promise. And she takes out the vial of your blood, magically sealed, that you gave her a few years ago, and goes, because I feel like the marker that you gave me, and you see that this vial is sort of levitating just above her fingertips a little bit, doesn't seem to be enough of an incentive for you to find me my money. So we found another way to incentivise you. And one of the gentlemen behind her hands her something, and she looks at it, and you see her looking at what looks like a frame, and she chuckles to herself, and she chucks it down on the table before you. You're not tied, by the way, you just sat, if you want to look. You want to look at it?
Yeah.
As you pick it up, you see a very, very familiar face. Somebody you didn't know other people were aware of. And for, I know you've got some else then. Captain Athena says, we are looking after your associate here. She will be looked after until you decide to pay me my money. Do we understand each other?
And Chiron's going to sort of look. He's not going to say much. He's going to try and keep as impassive as possible. But when he speaks, there's going to be like a tinge of like, not annoyance, a bit more than that. Not quite rage, but you know, like.
She has hit a nerve, should we say.
Yeah. Well, no, so...
you can do a perception check if you like. No, but genuinely, I've got one written on the sheet.
Okay then. 17.
17. So to add some context to why you are rolling perception, the Black Soul, as she's known around Rockcliffe and around the seas, Captain Ravina, has got a is a highly... She is almost more notorious than you guys. She is almost a pirate of legend and lore, in that she is fucking vile and vicious and evil, but she's also very fucking successful and very, very rich. She's also completely unfucking trackable. Nobody knows where this woman is, nobody knows where this woman hides, nobody knows where. Whereas it's widely regarded that that area of the beach is for the New Dawn. You have set that up as home. When you go out to sea, you leave 1 or 2 people behind to make sure it's kept and nobody moves in. Nobody has got a fucking clue where from it.
Until now, and Cauld pulls off the mask is actually one of the associates. It was like, I'm here to get you out.
Full intense it. I like it. Not getting. Yeah. Anyway. So you rolled a 17 on your perception. It's a very dark room, like I said, so you don't really see much. But what you do hear is just faintly a really haphazard attempt at somebody playing the fiddle. And that's something you just pick up on as you're trying to sort of find a way out, trying to sort of assess the situation. You can just hear that faint playing of a fiddle somewhere nearby.
Is it shit?
What?
Is it shit?
Well, the fiddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty shit. That's why I said haphazardly attempts at somebody playing a fiddle. Yeah, so she goes, do we understand each other?
Yes, you've made your intentions very clear, and I understand. I shall make every redoubled effort to raise the money.
Why are you here? There's rumours going around the city, on the return of the New Dawn, that one of you may be carrying a possession that I might be very interested to have, or very interested to know where it leads. Consider that in your decisions going forward.
Okay. I'll consider this.
She will go, well then I thank you for your time, Chiron. I know as you have apparently a list of priorities, you must be getting back to them. She'll do a nod to her associates to sort of step aside and allow you to stand up.
Yes, well, there are more important things I need to get back to for now, but I'm sure I'll be seeing you again very soon. And I'll turn and start walking towards whatever the exit is.
Yeah, there's sort of a door out to a siding. You're essentially in a back room of a random building that goes directly out onto like.
Well, what I'm going to do is on the way, because the associates, I'm guessing, are on the way. I'm going to stop by right next to one of the associates, and I'm going to, without turning, just say, know this: if you harm them, the one that you are claiming to be looking after, then just know nothing will stop me coming for you. And I'm gonna use primal savagery and take a swipe at one of the associates.
Yeah, roll your attack.
So the attack would be 18, 23.
That hits. You can roll damage.
So it's 1d10. Like, I'm not intending to kill, it's just to make a statement, you know. 10.
Yeah, they take 10 points of damage, and primal savagery is your...
It's the claws.
Have you done the claws?
Yeah, I can do the claws of the teeth, but I've done the claws, so I just took a swipe at his face.
Yeah, so he grabs his face and cowers.
Because it's corrosive as well, so it's...
So he literally, it's not collapsed, but leans against the wall, holding his face, taking the damage. In retaliation, the other one will pop the bag back over your head as you turn your back to swipe him.
Oh, fuck that!
And will then carry you as you struggle and sort of throw you down outside a random building in the street.
Okay.
Cool. Completely different direction to everyone else. So Matryn has moved along the beach, sort of towards the east. You've gone sort of same east, but you walked into the ocean and came to your senses.
Hi everyone.
Chiron, you moved all the way to the back near the thing. Whereas Typhus, you start off to the west of the beach, and you go along the beach. You know full well where you're heading. You've been there many a time. You are off to see this person where you get your maps and your tomes and your magical artifacts from. You go along the beach. You see different crews. Some fighting, like newer crews tend to do. Some are. There's one camp that's just full of a lot of pirates are slightly more aged than everyone. They don't look like they're that keen on moving. They seem to have settled their life quite nicely. It takes you a good 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes to walk along, almost to the edge of the city. And as you get to the end of sort of the city, where more grassland and sort of the rainforest has come down from the side of the cliff and the mountain and has come to the side. Standing at the root at the base of a tree is the most out of place building you would think to find here, as a cottage plucked straight from a fairy tale sits completely out of place, pristine, like it was built yesterday. It has got a lovely white picket fence around the side of it, some nice flowers on the windowsills, and a sign across the door that says
Hooters.
Bobby Yaga.
Hooters.
I've read
Bobby
Hamster's
Yaga.
Grail.
Mother
Which
Idol's
version?
tea rooms. And as you enter Mother Idol's tea rooms, the first thing you think is the colour red. Everything in here is red and soft and cushiony and comfortable. There are 4 or 5 tables that have got red tablecloths on them with intricate doilies and stuff on top. Each table is surrounded by armchairs and sofas that look like you could sit in them for days. There's 1 or 2 patrons already there having a drink. Down in the far sort of end of the room, there is a fire that seems to be emanating some sort of red haze or mist. Clearly some either alchemical product or a magical fire that is giving off this haze in this room, and this smell, this sweet scent. Anyone that would walk in here for the first time would be so taken aback. But like I said, you've been here a few times, you know again. You turn to the right where the counter is, and an elven man with sort of pale skin and a sort of flop of ginger hair and the widest smile you could ever see. If this smile got any wider, it would be a bottom half of a mouth and then a head with a smile in the middle. His face and features are that thin, his mouth seems to stretch wider. And he goes, Typhus, we've been beginning to think you weren't coming back again.
Don't be silly, of course I'll be back.
I hoped as much. Can I introduce you, offer you one of our special brews? And he shows you 5 different teapots, all slowly steaming away. There's no heat, there's nothing keeping them hot, but they're there, and you can tell that they're piping hot different sorts of flavours of tea. Can I interest you in one of these, or would you like your usual, sir?
We'll go for the usual.
Very, very fine choice. And as he turns to the side, he opens a little cupboard, and there is a single cup, a little silver, almost glass cup that's just a little, almost an espresso. And he picks it up carefully, placing it on his palm. You notice as he moves his hand and jogs about, the level of the water doesn't move, or the level of the liquid, doesn't move at all. And he goes, if you'd like to follow me then. And he leads you past the counter into a back room, and as you go into the back room, there is I don't know the correct word for it, so I'm going to use the term chaise lounge, a nice beddy chair thing with a little table on the side of it. And he sets down the cup and turns to you and goes, will there be anything else?
I'm fine at the moment, thank you
no
very
problem
much.
at all. And he puts a key next to the cup and turns and leaves, and then locks the door behind himself. What would you like to do?
I would like to take a sip of the tea.
Sip of the tea.
Grab the key.
Grab the key. Yeah. Okay. You sit down.
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Yeah. You sit down on the seat on the chaise lounge thing, and you take this tea and you sip the tea, and your eyes start to get a little bit heavier, and your body starts to weigh down a little bit, and you sort of drop to the side, which is why the chaise lounge there, as you slowly and softly fall asleep. Instantly reopening your eyes, and you are in the biggest library you have ever seen in your life. There is shelf upon shelf that goes higher than you could possibly imagine. It goes back as far as you can possibly imagine, with aisle after aisle after aisle of books. Every so often there is an aisle with different artifacts on and things as opposed to just books. There is a table like full of scrolls and maps and stuff. Again, anyone that did this for the first time would be freaked out. But you've been here before. You have been to Mother Idol's tea rooms many a time, and this was fully expected. Even if I did forget to tell you what to expect when I texted you earlier in the week. You see your sort of directional compass means that you know where you are facing in terms of the real world.
Yeah.
So when you see a fire sprouting at the end, giving off the same reddish tinge, you know that's the end. Common sense says that's the same fire. That's at the end. Or maybe not the same fire, but that's the end where the fire is. And coming away from the fire, you see the familiar silhouette of Mother Idol herself. She positions herself deliberately so that you can never see her features. And she goes, Typhus, we were expecting you to come back.
Mother, how are we doing?
Oh, you know, living in an eternal library for eternity, it has its upsides, it has its downsides. Speaking of upsides, have you brought me a tale?
I have always got a tale for you.
Amazing. And she, with a wave of her hand, a sort of matching chaise longue, that's because you're still sat on the chaise longue facing that way, and she gets one and sits facing opposite you, and she goes, okay, so tell me a tale. You don't actually have to tell us a story, but if you want to offer a sort of bullet pointed version of a...
I killed a guy.
I was waiting for you to say it, but you didn't. You ruined it.
I tell her the story of the night I left home.
Okay.
Of the night that I left home and just boarded a ship that I knew would take me away from the island I was living on and just away, and how on that fateful night there was to me a colossal storm at the time, one of the greatest storms of my life at that point, and how at no point during that I was scared, and that was just the excitement and adrenaline rush that I needed to start my journey, and made me realise how much I loved sailing and really how uncomfortable I was on land.
Yeah.
That then led me down the path to living a seaward life, and how that was very much the start of what I consider my tale.
So as you are telling her this story, again, the light flickers behind her, and her silhouette is, for moments, for like milliseconds, it's a bit wider, then it's flicked over that side. Like there's a fire like directly behind her. You're sitting pretty much how me and Joe are now, with a fire, but like maybe 30 feet, a bit extra. And as you tell this story, you see she waves her hand again, and a quill and a bit of paper appears next to her, a bit of parchment, and it scratches away, telling your story. But you notice that it's writing a lot more than you're describing, and so it's obviously embellishing the story. It's making a tale out of it. It's making a whole sort of book. It's making something that she can add to Mother Idol's collection. Can you give me a performance check?
Of course.
What's that, Josh?
On my shirt.
You want to give him disadvantage?
He doesn't need it.
On a 6. So she's writing her story, and you see that the quill is writing more and more and more and more and more. And what you take from your performance check and what you can see before you is that Mother Idol is having to fill in the gaps. As while you have many a story to tell from your time at sea in your life, you may not be the most adept at telling it. You're a man that's, I think we've established in the previous episodes, you're going after your goal, you have a purpose. So embellishing and creating a tale might not be as important to you as these are the facts. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to get. As you stop talking, the quill finishes the last few, and you can see it just drop down to the bottom corner as it signs a little bit, rolls itself up, and she takes it, presses her hand against it to seal it, and as she pulls her hand away, it is gone. But next to you, on the shelf, a new tome appears, and it's just got a name down the spine that says The Tale of Typhus, Leaving Home. It's just something that she's added to her collection. She pauses and watches, and she goes, "Thank you, Typhus, for your tale. Your tales are always welcome in my library. I wish to give you something in return. I know you don't come here to spend time with me, yet we can still do so while being of service to each other.
Always a pleasure.
Never a chore. Be seeing you." And your eyes start to drop again, and your arms sort of get tired a bit more as you drop back onto the chaise longue, instantly waking up back in the room, and where your cup was before, there is now a very, very old tome, which is almost looks frail to touch. And on down the spine of this blue cover, you see the words, "I'm sorry, Chiron's Aquedex," and that is yours. Yeah, so you wake back up, you're back in the room, and
you're back in the room.
And you're back in. Chiron's Aquedex is on the side, on the table, and your cup's gone. You have the key in your hand.
Yeah.
What's next?
I'm going to obviously take the Aquedex and stick it into my
Yep.
bag, and then I'm going to take a moment just to collect myself, because it's always a bit of a harrowing experience going to see Mother.
Yes.
And then I will get up, unlock the door, and pass the key back to...
Did it tell you his name?
I don't think you did.
I imagine the
Ronald McDonald.
Did I give him a name?
I'm not going to speak. Pardon. I'm not going to speak.
I'm sorry.
Darren Brown.
I didn't give him a name.
John Hancock.
Oh, Can Kirev.
John Smith.
First name Can, K-A-N, second name Kirev. K-I-R-E-V.
So I give the key back to Can.
Yes.
I'm going that was delightful, thank you.
As always, Typhus, you are welcome back to Mother Idol's tea room anytime.
Thank you. And then I will head off to the bathhouses to spend the rest of the day having a soak.
Yeah. The baths are all the way back into town.
Yeah.
All the way back. You will go all the way along the beach again. The old guys have genuinely not moved. They are in the same position they were. It doesn't look like a single one of them has moved a finger. But you brush past it. You're like, yeah, Rockcliffe being Rockcliffe. Go back into town, and they're just off the main sort of road. I keep saying road. There's no roads. It's just houses. Just off the main path sort of bit. There is a bathhouse, and you can go in there. It is an open sort of public place. There is no cost involved in, because at the end of the day, you could just go sit in the sea if you. So there's no point charging for it. It's one of the stuff that is provided by the council. They set that up for you. So you head in there.
Pirates,
but
there's a council.
There's a pirate council. No one's asked about the law here.
It's not like the council.
No, it's that there is a pirate council.
There's lockers that you need a gold coin for.
Contact the council.
Okay, I would think we wouldn't have all these shipwrecks if the potholes had got sorted.
Not many on land.
Pirate council.
I don't know how I feel about council-sponsored bathing.
Yeah.
Sponsored.
Like I said, there's lockers that you need a gold coin for.
Do you know what this has taught us, boys?
£83 for a
Lighthouse.
locker.
That's what we need. We need a lighthouse.
Cut to episode 5 where it's just you guys campaigning for a lighthouse. Well, this is taking a turn. You head into there. There is different baths you can go to. You're just going to sit in there?
Yeah, just going to have a soak for a couple of hours.
I don't know if you need to, but you can count as a long rest.
Thank you.
You all can. I don't know if you need long rest, but
I will.
yeah, you can. So after Typhus, we are going to rejoin Matryn, who is in the. I thought you were actually going. As Matryn would, you're sat in the Kingdom's Fight Pit. You've had a couple of hours. You had a few drinks. You've regained your composure. Where are you going?
So, obviously, after being knocked on my arse, it's not been a good day for me, and I'm now self-reflecting on what's happening, what's happened.
Cheaper than therapy.
Luther.
It costs $150.
Not cheaper than therapy. So, with that in mind, and with obviously the conversation had with both Zho-Zho and Chiron about them saying I have to take care and that I need to make sure that Cauld understands what's happened and everything. Obviously, because we've been here a few times and conversations that we have in passing, Cauld mentioned about
what the ship, the tavern, the Dwarvish Lion.
Because Cauld said in passing before about the Dwarven Lion, then
Dwarvish Lion.
Because in passing,
What ship are we on, mate?
because Cauld said in passing about the Dwarvish Lion, I'm going to go there because I want to have something ready to give to Cauld as I give him the bad news, like a nice meal, a nice drink. And I think this is the place what will know
him up.
I'm going to butter him up so much you will not believe it's not butter.
Give me a straight look check.
A proper sizzle off him as well.
Natural 20.
A natural 20. You walk in to the Dwarvish Lion. It is a little bit later in the afternoon. It has died down a bit. Still quite busy. And as you turn to walk towards the bar, Cauld walks out of the kitchen.
I might just leave it at this point.
You've just finished cleaning up the kitchen. You've got your new stuff. And as you
It
walk,
took me a while.
you saw what you did to the place, right? And as you walk out of the kitchen, Matryn's there.
Cauld!
Hi, hello, how are we doing?
I'm well,
Kind of a bit of
yeah,
words.
what are you doing right now?
I just did the morning rush,
Oh,
afternoon rush.
go on.
I think you did.
You can still see a bit of smoke just coming out of the kitchen door.
Well, so I did. I think the term was sous chef.
Sous chef.
Sous chef, I think that was the term.
I don't know what a sous chef is.
I don't know either, but I think that's the term you said.
But I did it.
But I did it. And but that's clean up the mess, because, you know, cooking's a really messy work. And I'm done.
Cauld,
So,
I've seen you cook in your kitchen before, many a time, and it's not really that messy. What did you do here?
a lot of food, isn't it?
Anyway, sounds like you had a good afternoon.
I did.
Should we go take a booth, have a talk? Because I need to speak to you about some stuff.
Sure, yeah, anything for one of my close friends.
So, of course we're close friends. Why would you think any differently?
I didn't.
Good.
My
Anyway,
insight is waiting there, but you
Yeah,
just can't
yeah.
anyway, so what is your most favoured meal and your most favourite drink? Anything that you can think of.
I like hot water. And I can't wait for this to go out.
Humble pie.
I like hot water, and I'm quite partial to this new thing. It's called a sandwich.
A sandwich.
Sandwich. I got the hang of him earlier, and he's not that stupid. I'm joking. No.
Toasties.
Toasty. Yeah. It's a ham and cheese toasty. No, really. You know, like.
I don't know. I need you to tell me.
Oh, goat stew.
Goat stew.
Goat stew's good.
Okay. You go sit over there. I'm gonna go order some food and some drink because we need to talk. As close friends, we need to talk.
Why don't we keep saying close friends? We are close friends.
Yeah, I know. But as close friends.
No, it's the fact he's talking a bit slower.
Like, Cauld isn't stupid.
It's the fact that he came in to apologise and explain it, and he went, "What have you done here? What is this? What's your favourite food?"
I want to stop being abusive, but first.
So, obviously, then Matryn goes to the bar, orders food, orders drink, and asks for even more than what Cauld wants because he just wants to put on this whole spread for.
You can have it for a single gold piece.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the kitchen.
Instantly
No,
get kicked out.
I'm going to like put my head into the kitchen and go, oh, what's his name again?
Pass.
What's his name?
Going with a V, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll just gloss over the fact that Matryn wants to put a spread on for Cauld.
That's all he wants, hopefully.
No, I'm surprised Matryn was like, oh, you want goat stew? I'll go kill a goat and we'll have it, you know.
Vonrig. I go, I put my head in Vonrig. Is this okay? I'm not in the kitchen.
What do you want? He's there scrubbing a fucking...
I'm just saying, my friend's ordering some food for us. Is it alright to sit in still?
Yeah.
Cool.
I literally said you're allowed to come in and have food.
Yeah, I just
You're not allowed into the kitchen.
because we're really close friends. I just wanted to double check.
We're really close friends.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Yeah, close friends. And then he leaves.
Cauld, leave the guy alone. Come on, sit down with me.
Then he leaves, goes back to the booth or whatever we're at.
So, sit down, having some drinks, obviously eating all of our food and everything like that.
Yeah.
Really setting the scene and everything like that.
Oh my god.
And then I go, Cauld,
Get that fiddle going again. Come on.
do you
Play the
understand?
fiddle in Irish, but
Cauld, do you understand what happened on the ship before we got back to land? Can you remember what happened about a week ago with me and Luther?
That was yesterday.
you see,
Oh, sorry, 2 days.
you see, sometimes two people get very angry, and when they do that,
2 days ago,
They
did you
fuck.
see?
When a mummy pirate.
it's just the way he's talking.
Either way, there's bloody.
Oh.
And cut.
2 days ago,
Uh-huh.
do you fully understand what happened between me and Luther?
I didn't even know you spoke.
So he came in to see
Did he?
you.
Yeah, he came to see me. Being close friends.
Yeah.
And then I asked him if he wanted some food, dietary requirements. In fact, that's what I did today. But I heard he died in the fight, and I'm not really sure how to handle that right now.
I've got to be truthful, and I need to tell you the truth because you deserve the truth. So when he left your kitchen, I heard him. What did he say to you before he left?
Thanks.
Before he said thanks. About who's second in command on the ship?
Oh yeah, I said you're the second in command, right? And he said yes.
Yeah. And who is it the second in command?
I don't know who it is now. I don't know the hierarchy, but
So who's at the top?
Captain Zho-Zho.
Yeah. Then it's me who's second.
Did you get promoted?
No. I can't even.
That's really what I'm really happy with my close friends.
So no, Cauld,
get what
listen
they
to me.
deserve.
Was Luther ever in one of the captain's meetings with the other lieutenants?
No, actually.
Who was always in them meetings?
So me, you, Typhus, Chiron, and Captain Zho-Zho, and the water boy.
So I was in there, and I've always been second in command. So, however,
You've always been second in command.
yes,
Since when?
since Zho-Zho took over the ship,
I must have got wires crossed.
Anyway.
Or something.
I heard this, and unfortunately, I lost my anger. Did you hear like a lot of banging and crashing, like after Luther had left the?
With a 7 passive perception, no.
So anyway, there was a scuffle that happened not long after.
Hold on.
A fucking scuffle.
I'm just surprised. I'm just waiting for him to go. After Luther left,
Sorry, 9.
I kicked the shit out of him.
9 passive perception, still no.
So anyway, there was a scuffle that happened after he left
Mm-hmm.
due to him questioning my authority on the ship.
Well, that sounds very good.
It didn't sound very good, and in that scuffle, he tripped and fell on my foot.
Do me with deception, though.
Oh,
Is that with advantage?
Definitely.
can I re-roll that? 'Cause it hit the side of that.
Yeah.
Deception.
He slipped
13.
9 passive perception.
Yeah. Jeez.
So he fell on foot.
he tripped over,
Just quickly, it'd be insane.
and as I went,
Oh yeah, it would be.
Yeah. What's your? Oh, you don't roll.
There is passive insight. It'd be the same. It'd be less though.
No,
probably.
yeah. You.
It'd be the same.
He
Passive
yeah,
insight.
it's supposed to be you.
he tripped over, landed on my foot. There was a couple more blows in there. He tried coming back at me. Didn't really get anything in there. I am a master fighter, by the way. Go down to Gim's fighting pits, and you'll hear the great stories about me fighting. Except from today. Today was a bad day at the office.
I might have a go.
I mean, you might want to have a go after this conversation. We will discuss that in a bit. Anyway,
I want to have a go after this conversation.
anyway,
Should we just fight now?
I may have killed Luther.
Sorry, what's up?
So, in the fight, I thought he was fine because he was kind of resting on the stairs. However, when I went back later, he hadn't moved with no pull. He was dead.
We're never gonna beat this. This Luther storyline has been the best thing ever.
Right, here's this bandage.
There was no. No,
Let me just go.
He was dead.
So
he didn't die in the fight with the other shit.
that's the clarification I needed. Thank you.
How do you feel right now?
So you
You need to talk to somebody.
you killed Luther,
I didn't mean to kill Luther. Let's just clarify a picture here.
but you killed him.
But I did kill him.
I'm trying to be really serious.
Do you want us to leave?
No,
What's your intelligence? Not my file.
Mine,
Score.
9.
Yeah, mate, that tracks.
So just help me understand. So he didn't die in the fight.
No.
You killed him. What? But we're all friends.
We're very good friends.
No, everyone on the ship.
Everyone on the ship is really good friends.
Why?
I didn't mean to.
Why do we hurt? Why would you hurt our friends?
Because. Because.
And actual tear comes down his face. Why?
Because I have issues that I need to work on right now.
And you take them out on your friends.
I didn't mean to take it out on my friends. It just was one of them things that happened. I can't explain it.
He
I
gets up and leaves.
Cauld, come back, Cauld. Cauld, please come talk to me.
He's
Cauld.
He's gone.
He's gone.
And then I just sit there wallowing.
He goes.
Is this
to
how
walk,
it happens at work?
he wants to walk into the ocean.
You are left sat as
With all
you
this
sort of stand to go and follow after Cauld, but as Cauld stands and I'm not going to say storms out, but leaves with a purpose.
Methodically leaves.
Yeah.
I said good day.
I said good
slump
day.
back into your chair as
Food gets brought.
your desserts are brought over.
Is it a sharing
Set
dessert?
Sparklers in.
It's a banana split.
It's a single banana split with two spoons in it, with a sparkler, and it just says, "I'm sorry."
Written in chocolate sauce.
And we pan away from
And
this
the
view.
S falls off.
I'm sorry. We pan away and leave you as you sit there, one spoon in hand, as Cauld has left as you attempted to apologise. That was the single greatest scene we've done so far.
It was amazing.
There wasn't a pull. It's it.
It was that good. I'm not poorly anymore.
So the rest of us are. So we pan away from the Dwarvish Lion as we sort of roll back slightly a couple of hours, and we return to the camp where Captain Zho-Zho is stood as the rest of his crew has gone about his day. I understand Captain Zho-Zho would like to head towards the council. My apologies, the Pirate Council. As that term seems to throw some
Nice.
So I'm trying to get some permits for.
Well, we built this
You
extension.
head off through literally the main sort of pathway road up the centre of the main sort of street, the strip down the middle towards the ravine down the centre. As you approach it, you can see there has been carved a spiral staircase on one side.
Mhm.
Then on the other side, there's some sort of hand pulley lift systems things where you can put yourself up to the desired level at will. There are, if you're on a good day, there might even be a couple of people there willing to operate the lift for you for a couple of coins. As you make your way there, though, out from the side, you hear a familiar voice shout over, and somebody's going, "Hey, Zho-Zho! Captain Zho-Zho, over here!" What do you do?
We'll turn round and or face whichever direction the voice is coming from.
Outside of a separate bar called the Silver Sickle, which is a bit of a lesser known establishment than the Dwarvish Lion. It's a bit more of a still quite a popular place, but it's more of a pub, more of a drinking bar than a fucking nightclub like party place. And outside the front, leaning against a post with a massive flagon of ale in his hand, is a almost 8-foot Loxodon man with a pirate hat, clearly a captain's hat on. He's got finery, a long red and gold sort of almost military jacket, but you can tell by looking at it, it's more of a well-made pirate's or sailor's jacket rather than an official military one. He has nothing on his bottom half apart from the biggest boots you have ever seen. As he is Loxodon, he doesn't have need for trousers and such.
Wee little boots.
He's got some wee little boots on.
So full poo bearing it.
Yeah, he's poo bearing it. He's full Donald Duck, just got out of the shower, wrapped a towel away for no reason. You look up and see the familiar face of Captain Colroon, the man that you originally worked with as you arrived in Rockcliffe all them years ago. He is looking at you with a massive, massive death stare as he looks deep into your soul and goes, "You've got a nerve coming back around here."
Zho-Zho will start walking over and position himself within, if I say arm's reach, of Captain Colroon. And if you was in Colroon's head, if you was looking through his eyes, all you would see would be the blue eyes.
I think we might go as far as to say that Colroon might be one of the only few people that might have seen your entire face.
The mask's still on.
Yeah.
You'd be obviously Zho-Zho will be looking up at Colroon, but all he could see is really it's almost as if Zho-Zho's done it on purpose to catch the light around him, so that the eye sockets on his mask are almost black, but you can sort of see flashes of his blue eyes. Fuck off, fly.
That's what Zho-Zho's doing while he's sat there.
Of his blue eyes underneath his mask. Zho-Zho stood both hands on his swords at his side, and will be giving the death stare back at Colroon with absolutely no response.
Colroon will slowly take his trunk and, still holding your gaze, his hands, not moving his arms, but the bottom of his trunk will wrap around the handle of his pistol, which is a intricate dark black colour with gold highlights on it and almost like silver under highlights to make the gold look like it's popping off, and give you the death, continuing to hold your gaze. We'll drop it and hold out his trunk. It's been too long, old friend.
As which Zho-Zho will go, Colroon.
He will shake with his trunk, as is customary for a Loxodon. For people that don't know around the table, a Loxodon is a giant humanoid elephant. If you do know, brilliant, they didn't tell. He will go, so, all the way back to Rockcliffe Bay, eh?
Well, we've got people to see and business to tend to, my old friend.
You're absolutely right, you do. And he will wrap his trunk around your shoulders, steer you into the bar, and go, but not before a stiff one with an old friend. And he will take you to the bar, order 2 shots. One of the few men that has seen your face, one of the few men that knows your exact order at the bar, as he orders 2 glasses of your the sake that you tend to drink a lot of. He sort of makes his way to the end of the bar and sits and goes, "You've been away too long. Things aren't great in Rockcliffe, Zho-Zho."
My absence is nothing more than me. I'm trying to make up an excuse, Cauld. I'll be quite honest, I don't have one.
So, obviously, you'll know Cauld is one of the first pirate lords that we have met on our adventure. He's also a sitting member. He is also has a representative on the Pirate Council. So to give some backstory, or to give some depth to this place, the way Rockcliffe Bay works is that this place came about to be a pirate haven for pirates and people that wanted to live under no ruler, on a free city, had a place to come to. But cities don't run themselves, so after years and decades of this place people coming from and to it, the 6 major pirate crews at the time decided that a pirate council needs to be formed, which could then instigate the rules and regulations, which seems really out of place in a pirate haven, but would then allow the city to be run a little bit more smoother. Hence why you can sell your goods here at a higher markup, but it's easier, and that higher markup will pay for things in the town, which means that maybe you don't have to work as much, you don't have to work as hard. Food's available, places can stay open. It was originally the 6 pirate captains that sat on the council, but over time, pirate lords decided they didn't want to be sitting in a council room doing bureaucratic red tape shit, so they would then appoint a representative to sit on the council for them. They could go off and do what they want while they ruled or ran the city in their stead. Cauld has a representative as one of the 6 pirate lords on that council, so he's privy to more knowledge than people realise. He doesn't necessarily have a lot of knowledge. He spends a lot of his time in the bars and clubs and that. And he's the only person that has a representative on the council that doesn't sail. He is a captain, he has a crew, they don't leave the town. They stay in Rockcliffe all the time. So he goes, things have changed in Rockcliffe. Things are changing in Rockcliffe. Things aren't quite as good as they once were. Can you do a perception check as he's speaking?
Certainly can. Bear with me, 13.
So as you look around, you sort of think back to the journey you've taken to get to this bar, and you notice that the things that you saw glancing weren't quite as shiny and amazing as you thought they were. When you saw somebody sat by a building having a drink, they were having a drink, but they also had a dish out, begging for coin. When you walked past a building that looked like it needed, it looked a bit different to the last time you saw it. It's because more of it had fallen away in the wreckage, the upkeep wasn't there. People don't seem to be as happy in the city. It's still a very happy place, there's still a lot going on, there's still a lot of activity, it is still the pirate haven place to be, it is still the Tortuga of our story, if you will. But things aren't quite as clear cut as they once were. And Cauld says, you see that guy in the corner, and you look over and see a man who is clearly in a uniform. Not a pirate garb or anything, but clearly in a uniform. They call him Captain Alexander. He is
Alexander.
Oleksander. Alexander. He arrived in the city 3 days ago. The badge on his lapel. What do you know of the Obsidian Federation?
Considering he's new here, Cauld, and we've been away for 3 or 4 months now. So I know nothing, old friend.
So 6 months ago, the Obsidian Federation didn't exist. And now they're sending agents to our shores to negotiate for us to re-enter civilization. Something like that doesn't happen that quickly, Jose. The Obsidian Federation 6 months ago were a pair of wannabe pirate hunters who somehow stumbled into enough money to make them the go-to people for the local authorities. The Obsidian Federation is headed up by a mysterious man who is hell-bent on taking back Rockcliffe. Taking back as if it belonged to somebody else in the first place. They are adamant that they can colonise Rockcliffe. And I can see that the writing is on the wall. Captain Norwood's already taken a pardon. More and more people don't want to go to sea. The Obsidian Federation has made it near impossible to hunt like we used to. I can only assume that you being back in Rockcliffe means that you're either going the same way and you are home, or you have a plan.
From what you've said, old friend, am I correct in thinking they're buying people off?
So for some reason the Obsidian Federation has decided that colonising the Rockcliffe Bay is the next thing, is the priority that they need to do. From our own experience, we know there is 2 ways you can take over a place. You can destroy it and rebuild it, or you can convince the people there that you are their saviour.
And what are the, if you pardon the broad term of the word council, what are the representatives doing?
I believe the correct term is fuck all. You know how the council works. They haven't made a decision in the last 16 years I've sat on it. They haven't made a decision in the last 55 they've existed. The people of Rockcliffe Bay come to Rockcliffe Bay for one thing, to live how they see fit. We say to them they've got to work, they say fuck off, I'm a free man. We say we'll pay you, they say pay me more. We say we'll pay you more, they'll say I'll work when I want, I'm a free man. You tell me now how we as a council, as we as brothers can save Rockcliffe Bay if they won't save themselves.
Colroon, I've known you probably longer than I've known most of my crew.
Some might say even too long.
Probably so, you big trunked bastard. You asked me if I have a solution as if you're 50% of the way there, as if you're the man looking for reassurance in something he's already got half cooked in the fryer.
If things continue the way they're going, it doesn't take a genius to see the writing on the wall. A decision must be made. Either we all take the offer, we all accept the pardon, go and work for the Obsidian Federation, or we need to find a way to fund this city better. Rumour has it, friend, that you're back in Rockcliffe looking for answers to a riddle to a question you're already on. I will ask you now, not for the details of that quest, but can it help me?
I can't tell you until I've spoken to Carmelaroo. I have formed my crew on the basis that I would take them to a better place. The Rockcliffe I see around me now is not a better place. If you sit next to me and ask me to make it the place we all want to be, then I will do that.
He downs his drink, takes a second, looks at his old friend, looks across the room to where his crew is out here together. Like I say crew, they've not been. His ship is literally anchored out there. There has a ship, he just hasn't used it. And he goes...
Is he not using it on the... Right, I'm more than happy to do a check or conversation line. Is he not using his ship on the pretense of this Obsidian Federation being there? Or are they not using it because this is just what they do?
Insight check if you want to see if you can figure out why he's not going back out to sea.
12.
Captain Cauld is one of a few men left who were not necessarily here when the city was founded, but know people that were, or has worked with people that were. When he first went to sea, he would have been a deckhand like everyone else starts out as, who worked for somebody who knew the original founders of the city. But he's always been aware of why the city was founded. There are other legends about the city was founded because people were hunting for treasure here, or people were hunting for the lost treasure of Rasta McCree or something like that. It's like there's all these legends about why the city was founded. How the city was founded, but why the city itself was founded as a haven for everybody was under this single ideal that no man should be at the behest of a king. He feels a duty to help Rockcliffe and the people of Rockcliffe hold that, and by accepting pardons from the Obsidian Federation, who have been given the power to offer them by a local or a nearby royalty or a nearby nation who is trying to annex, or that takes away what Rockcliffe is. If Rockcliffe was to fall to the Obsidian Federation and have a governor installed and rules and regulations and everything, it would destroy the very foundation of what Rockcliffe Bay is and what Rockcliffe Bay offers. Rockcliffe Bay itself has lost its way slightly. It has become this, and I'm sorry for the quote, but hive of villainy and scum, because of the type of people that want to be like that. But the actual knowledge and the actual basis that Rockcliffe exists is still there, and Cauld is one of a few people that still believe it. He, in a sentence, he doesn't sail out of a sense of duty to the city. Okay. If he was to leave, he would feel the city weaker.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you do next?
Has mine and Caud's conversation finished?
No, you can carry on.
Sorry, you mentioned that we're here for a purpose.
Like I say, rumour has it, sir, you have your own goal.
Well, would you mind doing me a favour, old friend?
For you, sir, absolutely.
If anyone asks you about our goal, why we're here or what we're doing, would you mind just making sure they come and speak to me first?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I would hate for any of the crew to get picked up on my orders.
Yeah.
They want the answers, they come to the horse's mouth, so to speak.
That is not a problem. I will do my best to make sure that anyone comes looking for the right man.
Thank you, old friend. And he'll unclasp his mask and take the first sip of his sake.
He will also down a second one that has been brought over and sort of tip his cap. Everything he's done has been with his trunk. He will tip his cap with his trunk, set his drink down and head over to his room. Is there anything else you'd like to do? You may still go to the Pirate Council if you want. I don't think the Pirate Council will give you any further information.
No, that's fine. I'm right in thinking that Captain Alexander's in the same building as me currently.
Yes. He was sitting in the corner.
Can I go over to Captain Alexander?
You can go over to Captain Alexander if you wish, sir. He is sat in a corner. He is has this military uniform on. It is not quite black, but too navy to be navy blue. If you know what I mean. It's right about line between If you look at it in this light, it's black, but if I look at it in that light, it's blue. You take it off, it's a grey. It's weird. It has the logo of the Obsidian Federation on each shoulder, and he has.
Can I ask what the logo is?
It is a solid black circle.
Cool.
It has Obsidian Federation written like obsidian around the top half, Federation along the bottom.
Yeah.
And in the centre of it, it has a solid silver exclamation mark.
Pricks.
It sounds like a whole bunch of things. He's sat there. He's got like various bits of paper, and he's sort of indescriptively. And as you come up, he will push that to one side. And be like, the infamous Captain Zho-Zho, I assume.
I'd like to keep Zho-Zho's mask bottom half open.
Yeah.
Infamous is probably far too rich for me. Alexander.
Legend. I see our friend Cauld was pleasant enough to inform you of who I am. Your legend speaks for itself. Your reputation precedes you. The reputation of your crew precedes you. How may I be of service?
I just wanted to ascertain why you're here. You speak of Cauld and you say our friend.
I was under my assumption that Rockcliffe Bay was welcome to anybody. I am merely here to enjoy the offerings that it has as much as you and your illustrious generals.
And forgive me for sounding rather brash. I don't normally come across this way, Captain Alexander. However, I feel you are stringing a few people here, for want of a better phrase, a yarn. Which, if you're not sure, which I'm sure you are, as somebody who comes from a corporation called a federation, is a fine piece of wool.
He is going to. Did you say standing next to the table?
Yeah, I'm not sat, I'm stood.
Yeah, so he will slide to his feet, sort of out of this chair, and he's a little shorter than yourself, but he can just catch your eye and go, I'm not sure I like what you're insinuating, Captain. The bar's gone deadly silent, and as everyone in the bar has noticed you two sort of.
So, for the first time that Zho-Zho has ever done it, he hasn't done it in the fight we just had. He hasn't done it when anyone's been talking, I don't believe so far. Zho-Zho would like to use his Drake companion.
Okay.
Which is normally an action.
Yeah, well you can take it, yeah you can do it.
And we'll summer at this point, at the level I believe Zho-Zho's at, it is classed as small.
Mm-hmm.
Please correct me anyone around the table if I'm wrong. I do believe it's a small dragon, so I don't know what that measures as completely.
What's small? Dog size? Is that a small animal?
Because you can't ride it till you're level 7.
Bear with, what did you say? It was a drake.
So as an action, you can magically summon the drake that is bound to you.
So small. Hold on. I've got.
Because you can't ride it till level 7.
I thought mine was average size, to be honest.
A small beast is about the size of an eagle.
You have an okay, so
it wouldn't be beyond the realm to say it's back and summon it onto my shoulder, surely.
you can climb on shoulder. So as you're standing face to face with Alexander,
yeah,
I like you.
Dracarys.
How do you? Yeah. What do you? Not how does it appear? What do you do to summon it?
So with Zho-Zho stood, as he quite normally does, as we've probably gathered by now, with both hands on his swords. It'd be quite a common thing to anticipate it as a form of attack, but what he does is unsheathe both of his wakashakis by about that much, and then slams them back into their holsters, holsters, sheaths.
Sheaths.
I can't remember. He's not packing mini Uzis here, and they put them back in their sheaths. And I would like the dragon that forms. So if I've opened the mask this way, forms on this shoulder, and it is a. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say. So how it forms was as you do that, after a second of waiting, and as him looking at you, steadfast holding your gaze, this drake just climbs off over your back, like it was there the entire time. Just climbs up onto the shoulder that you have requested, and sits there watching Calroon. Not Calroon, sorry, Alexander.
The drake is not what you'd expect of a dragon. Dragons are associated with fire. And Zho-Zho is much known as the captain of the sea. His dragon is a very sort of ice blue. The best way I can go about describing that is, like in Pokemon, when you have an ice Pokemon, it's that perfect colour of ice blue. And as it's on his right shoulder, the mask open this way, the tail that's there is just going to flick Zho-Zho's mouthpiece back shut.
Do me an intimidation check.
That's fine. Okay, a flat 0 on that. That's a 15.
Who's this? Oh, he as he watches and sees your drake summon, climb up, flick it across with, you can use the word sparks, but like shards of ice just flicking off as it claps shut. He will take a sudden step back, almost scoop up his belongings and pocket them and be like, "Good day, Captain Zho-Zho," and he will move to go around you as you, I'm guessing, do not flinch, and leave out the door.
Is it too late to put an arm on his shoulder?
He rolled a natural 1, you scared to shoot at him.
I was going to ask you later what you rolled, but
then I won't. No, I won't.
He will leave, and as you stand there, turn to the room. Calroon was watching, and he will give you a knowing nod, full of trust for his old steed. His old steed? Stead. His old
ride
steed.
me?
People were shitting, and now you've been ridden by animals.
Ride me.
A few seconds later, you're going to neck the rest of that sack. Oh no, you're not. You put your mask on. So a few seconds later, you tip your hat to the.
I'd like to do to Calroon is this. So as I walk out with my back to it, it's just that.
Yeah.
It's sort of an old symbol that we used to do.
He will not return the symbol. Will slowly nod and turn back to his crew. As you leave, it's a few seconds later, so he's gone into the night. I suppose if you had the ability to, you could possibly track him if you wanted to, but at the minute, he's gone into the distance. You can do a perception check for me, I believe.
That's a 16.
What you do notice as you leave and stand there, sort of adjust your eyes to the light, which has got a bit darker now. It's more evening time, it's getting darker. What you do see is two men carrying a person with a bag over their head and leave him dumped at the side of the building opposite you.
I'll go over.
You're going to go over? You going to take a bag off his head?
Of course.
And as you take the bag off his head, you see Chiron. He's just been dumped outside. Oh, Captain! So
The RL tally.
You look around, you go over, take the bag off this person's head, and Chiron is a bit bloodied, a bit battered, a bit out of it, on the floor. Floor is yours.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm going to be a bit groggy just for a second while I'm gathering my composure.
Zip.
Sorry. Is Chiron bound any more than just what was over his head?
It wasn't tied up, it was just, they were carried. There was two of them, they were bigger than him, they were able to.
And they've gone back inside?
They've chucked him down, they've gone off into the night.
With just one hand outstretched towards the floor. And that sort of almost the clasping motion.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Looks like you need a hand up, my friend.
Chiron will look up and it'll take a second for him to realise, obviously, it's Zho-Zho. And when he does, he'll grab his arm, let Zho-Zho help him to his feet.
Zho-Zho's going to pull Chiron up. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, but I think it's something that I'll need to talk to with yourself and the rest of the generals.
Me, you, probably didn't end. That's fine, you do you.
No, it was a line from a film.
I'm just going to go full. What is it? Is it Love Actually or whatever? It is Andrew Lincoln with the cards.
That's cooler than the one I was singing. Mine was a line from a musical called Rent.
So I was going to say, me and you probably didn't leave our last interaction on what I would call pleasant footing. I'm not going to ask you to divulge what this was to everyone, if that's not the case. I might ask you to divulge it to me, as it seems that today is the day that I fix problems.
Well, there's no harm in telling you, as I was going to tell you anyway. And if you're happy for me to tell you on your own, then it's fine by me. As for our interactions before, they are the least of my concerns now. But basically, what was the captain's name again? Captain Rao.
She's known as the Black Soul.
Yeah.
Her name is Captain Ralphina.
As captain yourself, and having been on the seas for as long as you have, I'm sure you've heard of the Black Soul, Captain Ralphina.
Keep going, Chiron.
Yes, well, unfortunately, she is the cause of my trouble. The reason I was here, on the floor, battered. And, frankly, straight up, I owe her a lot of money.
It would appear then that I have just managed to, in the space of very little time, find two captains and have a stranglehold on people that matter to me.
Yes, well, what it is I owe her 8,000 gold. And I never even got that money in the first place, but she doesn't care. As far as she's concerned, she paid her side of the bargain, and in return for paying back the debt, she took some of my blood to track me, and asked me to spy on your crew.
I'd like to represent my physical actions that I'm doing now as a person, almost as what Zho-Zho would do.
You act awake.
So he's going to put, obviously, face mask, everything's closed. He's going to put thumb and finger into the eye sockets and almost sort of do that with his eyes. Okay. Now I've recently spoken to a close old friend of mine. I should imagine that the Black Soul has asked you to spy on me because of why we're here.
Well, from from what I remember, she seemed to know about the chest we claimed from our previous battle.
Which is understandable. My old friend has ratified as much as people know why we're here. That's why I made sure to let him know that should anyone else take an interest, they speak with me, and only me. When it comes to the money you owe the Black Soul, keep this between me and you, Chiron. Keep the incident between you. I don't know why I give her the good grace of using that awful name. When Captain Ralphina next asks something of you, send her to me. Your problems are my problems now.
Yes, well, it's not all as clean cut as that, unfortunately. I mean, I frankly have no intention to pay her back now. She's threatened somebody I care deeply about. So, if anything, I want to bring that bitch down.
You do make me laugh, Chiron. As does everyone that we sail with. We are a ragtag bunch of people, brought together by nothing more than circumstance and my good luck of finding some good people. I promised you a better place. I promised you that I would take you all to somewhere that you deserve to be. That doesn't mean that I've overlooked everyone's individual problems. The next time Captain Ralphina poses an issue to you, you let me know. And we sort it out together.
That seems a good plan. And as far as I'm concerned, her interest in that chest means that we need to keep it as far away from her as possible. So, whatever plan you come up with, you can consider my wholehearted support.
Hopefully, if anybody has an issue, they come and talk to me. Let's go get a drink. Let's go find Matryn. I'm sure he's annoyed somebody.
So you guys head off together, you make your way to, you somehow manage to find him in the Dwarvish line. He's had a few by this point. He's had a rough day, has Matryn.
Crying into a banana split.
Oh, that banana split is still there. It's melted completely away. There's just like a soggy banana on
There's no I'm sorry anymore, it's just melted off.
Like, they've tried to come and pick it up like 4 or 5 times, and Matt just gone, no, he'll be back in a minute. He's like,
excuse me, sir. If you're not going to order anymore, we'll have to ask you to leave.
I'll have another rum.
You're tempted to the fiddle player now.
Yeah, the fiddle player's still there. She's been there all afternoon going away. There's different people coming and gone always.
Wait, as we've gone to find him at the Dwarvish line, would I recognise the fiddle from earlier?
You can do me an insight check if you want.
Like, if it's the same fiddle, then, you know, obviously I have a feeling I'd recognise it if it's being played badly. Insight, yeah?
Yeah.
6, 8.
I mean, it's a fiddle. You've had a long day. There is. What are the chances of there being 2 bad fiddle players in a city, eh? You know what I mean? But there's somebody playing the fiddle badly, but people seem to like it. You going back to camp? You'll go back to the camp?
Yeah.
These guys are going for a drink.
Which part are you
I
at
will
the
be
camp?
sat just at the edge of the sea, so I can clearly be seen from camp.
Yeah.
Probably just reading a book or something like that.
Yeah.
So in that case, I will go around the minor crew and just collect information about Luther and Matryn, just to double check everything. happened.
It's a sort of witness statement. What happened?
Sort of, like,
To clarify.
Yeah,
Where were
yeah.
you at this time?
and then I will notice Typhus at the beach and slowly approach him. And, hi, hello.
Hi, Cole. How are you?
A bit better.
Okay, what's up?
Is it true that Matryn killed Luther?
My understanding is that is what happened, yes.
Right. Are you okay?
No, I'm not too bad.
Okay, good.
Do you want to sit for a while?
No. As close friends, I'm glad we're okay. You're okay. I'm gonna go walk for a bit, and he's gonna still hang around camp, but try to stay away from everyone.
Yeah.
As he walks away, I go, "You're always welcome to come sit with me, mate."
Yeah, thank you.
She's gonna go for a wander around camp.
Around camp, but he's going to avoid everyone, and especially Matryn. He doesn't want to be seen by him, and he's not going to sleep either.
You fucked up.
Well, I'm still in the
You
pub
don't
right now.
goof. Consequences will never be the same.
I'm just going to say, when these three return to camp,
Yeah.
if they do return to camp tonight, because I will stay up,
Yeah.
just in case of that, the moment they walk in, I see them, and they are in a 120-foot range of me, I will send a message to Captain saying what Cole's... Well, the sense I've got from Cole.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, after a while, are going to make your way back. You will get that message from Typhus. It's going to be towards late into the night at this point. People heading to bed. You probably need to go to bed, Matryn. You've had a long day. You've not had an easy day yourself.
I take a couple of bottles with me, just into like my little tent kind of thing.
All of the character development you've done has now turned into alcohol.
He's had a rough day.
I think Chiron's not going to go
Let him
straight to sleep
process.
because he's pretty pissed. So
But yeah, you can go back to
Yeah.
like your tent and you
Yeah.
can. You know,
Zho-Zho's idea of getting Chiron and then going and fetching Matryn wasn't a let's go and have a drink with Matryn. It was a
get them back.
let's go boys, let's go.
Yeah, so you three make your way
Rub it
back.
up.
Yeah, you've had your fun. You fucked up.
You three make your way back. You get your message from Typhus. You all head back to your tents. Was Cauld going to do anything while they were in their tents?
I'm making sure everyone is asleep.
We will say as the night progresses, people go off to sleep. You're all in your individual tents. The base crew sleep on the beach around the fire, whereas you guys as the generals have your own tents. Zho-Zho's obviously got a fucking palace. But everybody has gone to sleep.
Okay, me and Dara will...
It's the first mention of Dara all episode.
Yeah, me and Dara will slowly walk towards Matryn's tent. And he pulls his sword from his chest and his skin cracks and breaks and goes all magma-like, and he just stands at the entrance and looks down at Dara, and they seem to like nod at each other through unspoken. He just sneaks into the tent and he flips it round so the sword's facing down, and then brings it up and slams it down to the ground next to his head. Does it wake you up?
Yeah. Like,
No, fast.
no, like the slamming of it, because it's fire, isn't it? As well.
No, it's just.
Oh, is it just a
rock.
normal sword at the moment? But yeah, because like obviously it goes down, like some of the sun hits me in the face, and it's just like
But
rolling like.
as groggy you are, Cauld's face rushes into Matryn's face. Absolute. No rage, just sadness. And like, is like, why would you betray our friends betrayers need to be punished, and he's like crying, and like the tears are slowly turning into like this like red stream, and it's like sizzling down Cauld's face. You need to die.
That's where we're going to leave this episode. What an ending. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you for the guys around the table for joining me tonight's episode. Here comes a boring YouTube bit. If you did like tonight's episode, and I know I fucking did, if you could leave a like down below, that'd be fantastic. Let us know in the comments whether you think Cauld is going to kill Matryn tonight. And please do subscribe if you haven't done already. We'll see you next week in 2 weeks' time for episode 5 of Deadfire. See you later.
See you later.
Alright.